Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kimara, and I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be a story time on how I wrote a poem about one of my best friends and read it in front of the class. And spoiler alert, this was not a good poem. It was actually a very mean poem. So yeah, I do want to preface this story by saying that there are no hard feelings for anyone mentioned in this story. This happened when I was in 8th grade. This was almost 10 whole years ago. Like, happened a very long time ago. I don't have any hard feelings for any person mentioned. I'm not trying to shake the table. I'm just telling my truth. And honestly, I preface a lot of videos with that, but I don't even think these people be watching the videos half the time. But I just have to say it just in case they stumble across it. We are not beefing. Like, we're good. I just want to tell the story because I think it's interesting. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Hey guys, it's Kimara. We're on to the story time. Get ready with me. As you can tell by the robe, I mean, I feel like I've already prefaced this video by saying that this was a long time ago, so I'm just telling my truth. It's like not meant to stir the pot at all. This is the story of when I was in 8th grade and I wrote a poem about this girl that I was friends with, and I read it in front of the class. A little backstory. I don't know if I've ever on this channel mentioned my best friend Michaela. Like, we've been friends since like 7th grade or so. Yeah, 7th grade is when I met her. We've been cool ever since, still cool to this day. And it's like when we were in school, it was always like me, her, and then maybe like 2 or 3 other friends. So it was the same thing this time in 8th grade. It was me, her, and this other girl. And we could just call the other girl, I'm gonna come up with a name that's like totally different from her real name. We can just call her Amanda. And so me, Michaela, and Amanda, we like all really cool. All in the same class, on the same team, all that. Also, another person I got cool with in 7th grade was this boy that I really talked to. I talked to him from like 7th grade all the way, like we was on and off talking from like 7th grade to like freshman year of college. And then I think that's when, sophomore year of college. And that's when it's fine, like it's done. We haven't really talked since then. But so we talked for a really long time. But at this point we were both in 8th grade. So it was just kind of like on and off since 7th grade. So that was a thing as well. And we could just call him, I'm gonna pick a name that's totally different from his name too. We can call him Daniel. So we got Amanda and Daniel. That's gonna be hard for me to remember. But anyway, E and Daniel, we used to always, I mean, clearly we used to be on and off a lot. Like if we was talking on and off from 7th grade to 7th grade, which I was in 7th grade, what year was that? How old are you in 7th grade? That's like 2012. I was a sophomore in college in 2018, but I talked to him in college in 2019, I think. I think it was early 2019. Or it was like, I remember it was like kind of between 2018 and 2019. It was like Christmas break going into the next year or whatever. Just to add a little backstory to this. And so yeah, we were all, me, Amanda, and Michaela, all friends in the same class. Daniel, he's in a different class, but he's like, you know, at that time, my forever boo. So me and him, I cannot remember for the life of me why, but we ended up breaking up for some reason. We always is breaking up for whatever reason. I really don't know. I'm, you know, just a tad distraught, but I'm trying to play it cool in front of my friends, and I'm like, yo, whatever it is, what it is, da 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 da. So we're like, I remember vividly. This is one part I do remember. I'm in the computer lab with Michaela and Amanda, and we talking about, you know, the situation and how me and him broke up. And Amanda keeps asking, she's like, would you care if I talk to him? Would you care if I started talking to him? Da 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 da. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't care. But that's where I messed up, is because I definitely cared. Like, but I thought she was just playing, because that's a crazy question to ask somebody that you're cool with. Like, do you care if I talk to the boy that you just broke up with, or that y'all just broke up, y'all just stopped talking? Because I can't remember. I broke up with him, he broke up with me. I really don't remember. But that's a crazy question to ask. So I'm thinking she's joking. So I'm like, no, I don't care. You know, and maybe, and I know for a fact that's where I messed up, because I should have just been like, yeah, don't talk to him. But obviously I'm thinking like, she's just playing. We have broke up so many times, and I don't know why this time I was just so distraught. He must have broke up with me. I should have put down color corrector first. Hold on. My skin right now is just not great. And I don't know what's going on. My diet this week has been better than my diet has been all year long. And I've been drinking water and everything. And my skin is just not appreciating the love. So I don't know. We had, like I said, we had broke up a bunch of times before. So I don't know why this time I was particularly distraught. But I was really going through it, like really sad over it. Like literally, it felt like a death, like really grieving this relationship, only for us to get back together a million more times. Just ridiculous. I just say, I know I said there's no hard feelings towards these people now, which there isn't. Like I don't have any hard feelings towards him now, but also it's like I will never do that again. Like literally, when I think back on how many chances, and it's like clear we just are not compatible. Like you should not have to get back with somebody that many times to realize y'all not supposed to be together. I don't know why it took me, I guess a little more of my brain had to develop. But after the last time, I was like, okay, this is crazy. Later on, I start to realize, I can't remember the exact details, but I started to realize that Amanda was serious when she was like, do you care if I talk to him? Like she was dead serious, like trying to talk to him. And I'm like, that's strange. I'm like looking at her funny, but I don't know how long it took for things to get like official with them. And also I'm like, we had other friends and like mostly I'm just running it past Michaela though. I'm like, this ain't weird that she's like, you know, trying to talk to the boy that I'm literally known for talking to, and we just stopped talking. And you know, it's kind of like, well, you did say she could, and I was like, I didn't think she was serious. Like, I thought she was just playing. So they like eventually become like official, and I am basically infuriated. I am like, you're supposed to be my friend, and why would you do that to me? Like, I thought you was playing, but you were dead serious about talking to him. I don't know, I feel like it was probably painted as like, oh, you're jealous, but I feel like anybody that like, if you're friends with somebody and they start talking to the dude that you just stopped talking to, and he goes for it, like they both go for it, that's just messed up. Like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just not something I would do. Pause for a momentary pause for me to put on my eyebrows. Well, actually, should I do my eyeshadow first? Maybe I should do my eyeshadow first. I was gonna do something wild and crazy for the eyeshadow, but I do blue green liquid shadow. Okay, blue green liquid shadow, and maybe this green right there. I think it's called Spellbound. Yeah, when they got together, that just like, it just added insult to injury. Cause like I was already hurt, but I was like, not my friend. Like if he would have got with anybody, I probably would have been hurt. But my friend, and I kid you not, this was within like a week or two. Like it wasn't even like they waited a couple months or nothing. Like immediately got together. I was like, were y'all already talking? Were y'all in cahoots already? Like I'm so confused. So remember the guy friend that I told you that I had a crush on? We used to talk all the time, but he just wasn't feeling me the same way. So I'm talking to him one night, and I don't know what about our conversation inspired me to write a poem and like become a poet. And I wish I had the poem because I can't remember everything it said, but I do remember the gist of what it said. I remember the title, all that. And I was spitting bars. I'm not even gonna lie, like Kimar Allen Poe. I was doing the thing. And the poem is called Some Friend Right. The title is it always gags me because even back then I knew a snake when I saw one. The poem is called Some Friend Right. And it's basically detailing like the whole situation. And y'all, the first line of the poem is, so you're talking to my ex and you think that's all right. Some friend, right? When I tell you I thought I ate that up. And then I can't remember the last part, but basically every word in the poem, like every last word rhymed with right. Cause like Oh, and crazy thing is, y'all know how I said me and him went to the same college? She went to the same college too. Like, I don't know how we all ended up at the same college. Crazy. I write this poem and I'm sitting on it for a minute. I'm like, I don't know if I should drop this heat. Like, I really don't. And basically, between the boy best friend and Michaela, I am convinced to drop this. How do I do it? Do I do it at the lunch table? Do I do it in front of everybody? Do I make an announcement on the internet? I'm like, how do I do this? Because I'm hurt and I need the world to know what has happened to me. And so somehow, I think I came up to this conclusion all on my own. Somehow, though, I decide that I'm going to read this poem in front of my entire 8th grade class. And so I know you're probably thinking like, you're gonna get suspended. You can't do that. You can't, like, that's kind of bullying, which I don't deny. Like, that is kind of a bully thing to do. But given the circumstances, I really did not care. One day we're having like this thing at the school, and I think it was like a mother-daughter brunch or something like that. I think that's what it was. It was like a mother-daughter brunch. So I was like, you know, dressed and ready for that. And for some reason, this is the day I decided to do this poem, which was honestly a bad idea because I knew, like, if I would have got in trouble, they would have just waited for my mom to get there for the brunch and told her about it. But my mom never knew about it. So she's finding out now with the rest of y'all that this happened, I think. I don't know if I ever told her after the fact, but yeah. So I decided to do this, like, I can't remember if I did it before the brunch or after. I think it was before. So I decided, back to how did I think I was gonna get away with this. So we had, like, you know how, well, I don't know how if all middle schools are like this, but we had teams. So it was like team A and team B. And so you switch classes, you have different teachers, all of that. So there was this one teacher, and he was older, but he was new to the school, and I think he might have been like new to teaching altogether. Like, and he was a science teacher, and he was a huge pushover. Like, you could get away with anything in his class. He was a pushover. And I forget what his name was. It was like, I think it was like Mr. Graham. That's what it was. His name was Mr. Graham. Mr. Graham, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we put you through that, because we definitely used to be showing out in his class, and he just, like, you just never got in trouble. Like, that was so nice of him, because he definitely could have called our parents multiple times, not even just for this, like, other times as well. I tell Mr. Graham, I come to him like the morning before it's even time for his class, like before homeroom. I come to him and I'm like, because he was our first period. We used to switch classes in a circle. So it was like my homeroom, Mr. Graham's class, social studies class, English class, and then my homeroom was the math class. So that's how we used to switch classes. So we used to always go to him first thing in the morning. So I told him, I was like, I came to him that morning and I was like, Mr. Graham, I have a poem, like, I want to read in front of the class. I just wanted to do it in your class because you're our first period. And he's thinking like, you know, I'm trying to be creative. Like, I feel so bad saying this. He really caught a stray in this whole thing. I feel really bad. He's like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, he is all for it. He's like, yes, you can read this poem before my class. Of course. Like, yes, I want to promote all this creativity and yeah. And I don't know if I told him it was about science or something, but I don't even know if he asked what it was about, which that was his mistake. He should have asked me what it was about, because I'm not that good of a liar. So I probably would have folded if he asked what it was about, but I don't even think he asked what it was about. So he's like all for it. So all homeroom, I'm getting like hyped up because I know I'm about to go and read this poem. So we go into the class and he stops the class. He's like, hold on class, before we get started today, Kimara has a poem she wants to read. He's like, yeah, so like everybody be quiet. She's gonna come to the front. She's gonna read this poem. And so I can't believe I had the audacity to do this. This is something I wouldn't even do as a full-blown adult. Like, I just can't believe I did this. So, but that's how you know, that's how hurt I was. That's why I kept mentioning how distraught and hurt I was in the situation, because I was like, I have to get my revenge. I get up in front of the class and I look around and I'm like, hey y'all, I have a poem. And I'm like, this is for you, Amanda. Like, I dedicated the poem to her. I was like, this is dedicated to you. And I started reading and I'm like, so you're talking to my ex and you think that's all right. Some friend, right? Like looking at her, and I'm just like reading this poem, and I go through the whole thing. I remember there was one part, and it was like something something something. Why my smile in my eyes don't shine as bright. Like I was really spitting like I thought I was a Nicki Minaj. I mean, obviously, like I don't know if she cried. I'm not gonna say she cried because I don't know, but I know like in the middle of the poem she put her head down just flat on the desk. And so yeah, and I think the thing is, I think I had like told a few other people that I was gonna do this, and everybody's like hyping me up, like, oh yeah, you should do it, da 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 da, yeah, that's messed up, you should do it. So I did it, and then so I get through the whole poem. She puts her head down. It's like it's the tension is thick in the classroom after, and Mr. Graham obviously pulls me to the side, and he's like, why would you do that? Like, why would you tell me you were gonna be saying a poem and do that? And he's like, if you ever do that again, I'm going to suspend you. And I should have been suspended just for doing it the first time, but he a real one. That's why I did it in his class, because I was like, you know, 9 times out of 10, there's gonna be no consequence. He didn't tell my mom nothing. Like, but y'all, when I tell y'all, I was that class's most hated after that, and I forget what her name was. I think her name was what my teacher's name was back then. But I was the most hated person in the class. I think by the end of it, Michaela was the only friend I had left, because everybody switched on me. Like everybody looked at me like I was in the wrong. And to this day, I don't understand that part, because I'm like, she was the one that started talking to my ex-boyfriend. I think we need to put the blame back on her. I'm not gonna lie. Like I just think we need to put it back on her, because I would have never wrote a poem about her if she wouldn't have did that grimy mess. Like, so everybody was looking at me like I had just sent this girl over the edge, and I didn't care. Honestly, this one I knew. When I feel like it needs to be done, I don't care what people think. Like if it's something that I done made a decision about. And yeah, basically after that, I don't think me and her were ever friends again. Like I think Michaela was like friends with both of us, but I don't think me and her were ever friends again. Like, and me, stupidly enough, I ended up getting back with the boy because he was just as in the wrong as her. So I should have iced both of them out, but I didn't ice him out, clearly. And that was my mistake that I took for years and years to come. I ended up talking back to him, and of course I was in 8th grade, so I'm thinking I won. He know where home is, like just stupid. So I ended up taking the L in the end. Don't worry. So back to me and him talking in 10th grade and why we ended up breaking up. So we were talking, and this is back when Snapchat was like the real Snapchat, where you had to hold it down to see people's stories, and you could see people points and best friends and all that stuff. And me and him was together, official and all that. And anyways, I was looking at his Snapchat best friends, and I don't even think I was one of them. And it was like 2 other people and her as his Snapchat best friends. So I broke up with him. That's why we ended up breaking up in 10th grade. I remember that. I'm pretty sure I was the one that broke up with him because of that. So it was just constant disrespect and clownery from him. And honestly, he was to blame. Let me stop because it does make me sound bitter. I'm not bitter. I don't really care, but you know, I just have to say it how it is. Y'all know. Like I said, we ended up going to all of us ended up going to the same college. Me and her were like never cool again. We never ended up talking again, I don't think. To my knowledge. Like maybe it went different, maybe we got cool again, because I'm like, I don't know how I went through the rest of 8th grade not talking to her, because we were literally in the same class, used to hang out all the time. So I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but I can't remember. It's so long ago. This is almost 10 years ago. And Mr. Graham, you a real one. I don't even know if he's still alive. He wasn't that old, but if he is still alive, he's probably not teaching anymore. But yeah, anyways, I hope this story entertained you guys. I feel like I'm a part of somebody's childhood trauma though. I can't imagine being in her shoes. Like, I do kind of feel bad, because maybe I'm sure there were better ways for me to express myself. And I don't know if I ever did try to like talk to her about it or anything like that. Like, I can't remember if I took other avenues before I decided to write a poem about her and say it in front of my entire class. But you know, that would have probably been a good idea. I feel after that, I was over it. Like, I was good after that. There was no more hurt left in my body. I felt like a weight off my shoulder. So anyways, I'm gonna go put on my wig now. My roommate's home, so I can use her crochet needle. That's what I was waiting on. And then I'll be back to end this video. Thank you guys for watching to this point. If you watched to this point, put that little emoji, the little writing emoji, to signal to be symbolic of the poem. And if I ever find that poem, so this is what I did with the poem. I put it under my mattress back home, but I went to look for it. Can't find it. I don't know where it is. I don't want to check under the mattress no more because it's been years, but maybe I'll check under the mattress and see if I can find the real one so y'all can see the whole thing. Because when I say I was spitting, like, every person I read it, and that's another thing that hyped me up to say it, because every person I read it to was like, these are bars. Like, everybody was hyping me up. It's probably so bad, but in 8th grade, everybody was hyping me up to say it. So I was like, I'm gonna say it. But anyways, I'm gonna go put on my wig. I'll be right back, guys. So that's the story. Let me know if I was the villain. Do y'all think I was in the wrong? Or was she in the wrong? Or were we both in the wrong? I think we were both in the wrong. Well, but mostly her though. Like, I don't feel that in the wrong. The only part that I was maybe wrong about is I could have confronted her one-on-one instead of in front of everybody. Other than that though, and I probably should have just been honest about my feelings in the first place instead of assuming she was joking. But other than that, I don't think I did anything wrong. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm a big girl. I can take it. And this was years ago, so there's no taking it back anyway. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please tell your friends to subscribe, and I will definitely see y'all in the next one. Bye.